to demonstrate God's love in Christ through our work. So how did it start? In 2017, we started in 2017. At the time, we distributed mosquito nets, which is very important for pregnant women and women with babies in Madagascar, newborn baby, I mean. So that's the photo at that time. We distributed 200, more than 200 mosquito nets at the time. And the next one, 2018, there's a distribution of table bench seats in a village called Ambuluand, and also in Matsinzuran, where the first team in 2019 visited. That's myself. We did also help school children in Matsinzuran in 2019. That was with a team. The first missionary from the US came to Madagascar. We did that together. It was a nice time at the time. Lots of children coming, and even children not from the school, we gave the gift. So what we did also in 2019, building church in Irin. I think in 2019, the team was not, the building was not even halfway yet at the time, so they saw the building rising from the ground, and when they came back, of course, everything was done. It was nice. That's a service inside of that church building when it was finished. That's the building itself. And Christmas gift. In 2020, we also did Christmas gift. A very simple thing, but it's very special for children in a rural village of Madagascar. What we did was giving them small bottle of water and some toys and candies. And the first time for some children have ever seen water bottle. And they ask actually, what is this? Because they know alcohol, what they drink in the village. And they thought it was alcohol. And we explained to them, it's not alcohol, it's water, yeah. And they like it. Maybe it's fancy to drink water through a bottle, yeah. And that was a ministry that we did with our daughters, because that's during the Christmas holiday also. That's my daughters. And school children, we helped also school children in 2021 when their father died in a mission. He was in the military and died. So that's what we did also. So basically, this is not like we are on doing it, but we work with partners doing it through our work. So that was not even House of Hope Madagascar yet at the time. So school building in Rantsara, this is the school we made at the time. It is actually, it's about to finish now. We work with a congregation at St. John's Lutheran Church in Minnesota, building the school. They hope to move the student in this new school this year, but they couldn't, because the plan was that the church in Minnesota give them the building and they work on a table bench seat. So they haven't done that yet, so they couldn't move their student in that school, but hopefully next year. And free medical, that's the wrong word. I should say free, not free, medical checks. So now you see the limit of my English now. Okay, so that's what we did also, because people in a village, they don't have access to any medical check. So we go there, and we did this once. We wanted to do it kind of many times, but it's very difficult to have somebody professional in a medical field to get there. And so at least we did it once. When we did it, some people came, some people were very afraid of discovering what kind of health problem they have, because they feel like knowing what their health problem is kind of scaring them. So they didn't want to do it. So, but it took like 3 hours for us to get what's coming and check their health and things like that. It was successful anyway. So we also have this breakfast project since 2022. I think that was after COVID. And when there was, during the morning service, somebody just fainted from the pew, and they took it outside, and when we tried to bring him back as a man, and we knew actually he was hungry, that was a problem. And so we talked about it, and there was this congregation in the Netherlands, because I did my master's degree in Netherlands, and they did this breakfast project, and they had to stop during the COVID. So they reached us like, okay, we have some funds here we used to use for breakfast project, if that's something good for you. No, oh, of course, we want to do that. So we started breakfast project. The idea is to give some food for very poor people in our congregation before they go to church, so that they can, something like what happened would not happen anymore, or they can focus with a sermon also, because sometimes they go out and get in and during the service. So that's the idea of breakfast project. We gave breakfast projects like 2 villages, and then now we are giving another chance for another village again. That's the village of Irina, the missionary visited last time. In this time, I think like 140 kids coming to be benefited when we were visiting, but it continued. Then, of course, it's like, it's not something, one of the places we gave a breakfast could continue it on their own. They did some kind of a way how to continue it. But most of poor villages, they just cannot continue. So when the funds run out, and they have to stop in the project also. And helping children in Hus. Those 2 girls, one, those in the middle actually, their mother died, and they stay with their father next to them, next to my daughter actually. And then the father have problem with alcohol, and he left the children, the 2 girls with his mom next to him. And there was a problem with the children, of course. And they go to church. That's that behind them actually is a church building. So that lady with a black purse told us about the problem, and so we kind of just help the children to go to school, buy school supplies for them, and also buy school uniforms for them, and then they could go to school at that time. Then later time, of course, we focused on House of Hope. Then there's a change of a vision again. So vegetable project 2022. Some people complaining about how they trying to grow the vegetable, but they not work. So we did some kind of techniques with a man who did his study in agriculture, but the problem is we don't really have like fixed funds for this to do every village. It's an opportunity, and we don't want to miss it, and we give them what they need according. So we bought those tools and teach them how to use it and how to plant vegetable. It was really nice also, because they asked us to come when it was harvest, and we are very happy for that. Water well also in villages. We gave 3 different villages in Hus. That's the kind of water they drink, so it's very bad. So we gave them 3 different kinds of water well. This one and those 2 different ones also, and they were very happy for that. Church, rebuilding church damaged by the cyclone, what we did also. Okay, so those are actually activities we have been doing since 2017 up to now. That was before even House of Hope Madagascar existed. So we would like to share this with you to know that if we have been doing something actually, and House of Hope is not just like a spontaneous idea you lay down in bed and, oh, let's open House of Hope. It's not something like that. Yeah. So next slides are something I would like to share with you, life in Madagascar. So water is usually far away from the village, so you carry it, for ladies, basically carry it in their head. That young lady with babies, very young lady, I assume like she was in her 15 or 14 when gave birth to that baby. We'll talk more about that later. The water again, that's a rice. To get the rice, the white inside, so they peel the outside skin of the rice. They do that to get it. It's very, might be like 300 years, 400 years, 200 years in your country doing that. They still do that in Madagascar. Making bricks for a house, to build a house. Those children in middle east of the country, they don't go to school, they just dance to get some money from the tourists. That's what they do. So the community organized a kind of a fund for them also. All of the money they receive from the children dancing, they use for the community needs. That's what they do. That's rice, harvesting rice, and you have to do it like that, to get the rice and then collect it and put it in a bag and bring home. Those group of men, they digging grounds for sapphire, and actually they bring it to this river, and they use the water to filter or something like that, of a sapphire. And of course, it's not good for the environment. And that's the only water in the area, actually. And that's the color because of they use it with the dirt from the ground they dig. Children work like their mother, young girls, very early in their age, and boys follow their father, working, helping their father. That's a laundry time. They're doing laundry in that small water pond. Going to laundry. That's if you walk in Madagascar, when you go, and then you find a little bit of this for actually, it's a kind of a drive-through here, to stop for quick food and then continue your way. It's one of the things that used for transportation in Madagascar. You see the sign that a Hyundai, but that's not really a Hyundai. They just use it for... But that's a four-wheel drive anyway. The children also use this for transporting water for their home, from quite far from their home. Sometimes they use it for playing also. That's, again, the same like the other. That's a type of grocery we have in the village. So when we came here first, we were so amazed to see Costco, and that's the kind of a Costco we have. Yeah. There's children playing in the village, water again. That's kind of a marketplace in the village. So they put everything on the ground next to the road and by the road, and then people come and buy. Usually in Madagascar, the little boy go with the older brothers, play with, and the girls with their older sisters, sorry. So they have to take care of the younger child since quite early in the beginning. That's driving children to school. Like this one too, this is rickshaw. We have that actually in our home for our two girls to go to school. And then somebody use it for money also, and then use it for our daughter to go to school. It's like 20 minutes from our home. But it's very common. This one is almost like a bike, so they can't ride it. That's something you see also on road number 7. Man carrying charcoal for cooking. This is the main means of transportation, actually. Zebu pulling cart. And you never see, maybe in the US, pigs running on a highway. And you see only that in Madagascar, pigs running on a highway. So there's men breaking stones and to make gravel, and sell it. This kind of shop also selling hats and other wooden thing. Again, it's the same like marketplace. This is one of my favorite photo I took. It's a photo of villages in Madagascar, a village in Madagascar, and it's really nice. So I just want to put it here. All right, let's go back to the orphanage. So a brief history. So House of Hope Madagascar actually came to my own story, and I really like sharing. I used to be shy to share my story before of House of Hope, but now it's like a joy to share it because it's doing good for the children. And so when I was 7, my dad and mom separated. And at age of 9, my dad took us to a very far away village. So we had to walk 5 days to get to the village. That was the village his father built. And so he wanted to go back there, intending to build a new life again. Then we went there, and there was no school in the village, so we had to go 30 kilometers away again to go to school. There was like 5 of us, all children, and then we rent a house, maybe like that space what we had at the time. And so it's a bigger village, not even a town where we find this. So we cannot go in the morning and back in afternoon or evening. You have to stay there. We leave on Sunday morning and come back on Friday afternoon. So there's no church because people go to church, we go to the village, to our study place. And in this place, everything is lacking. It's like just for you to survive and go to school. And at the time, I remember I didn't have shoes or sandals to go to school. I just go on barefoot, goes to school. And but the main problem, in my recollection, was going to toilet because there's no even latrine. So we go to a forest nearby, a small forest, and when it was raining, you have to cut banana leaves and use it as an umbrella to get there. And when it's dry, also, you have to deal with mosquitoes. So what people in the village do is like they collect dry grass and put charcoal inside to make smokes. So to kind of use that smoke. So in the village, when you see people taking that thing, you know that they are going to toilet, not like burning something. So you use it. You sit and use it around you like this because of the smoke, so the mosquitoes run away from you. That's what we did. And so we had this young boy, our classmate, and he's related to the representative of the government in the place. So his dad once took him to the capital city of Madagascar. He was explaining, in capital city there is huge building. And then actually they are crazy because they build another building on the top of another building. And another building is scary. And if you look at the highest part of a building and you have your hat and your hat will drop because it's too high to look at. Like, okay. And he was also talking about this people in the city, they don't have forest to go for a toilet, but they have toilet inside. And we didn't believe it. And he had a hard time to explain it to us, like toilet inside of your home. But then I had this forest and have this problem, and it kind of reminds you like, okay, maybe when I grow up, I will build my house and I have this toilet inside of my home. but I don't know, I didn't have any idea how that works. I thought that at home might be smelly and you cannot stay there. Then it became one of my dream, my childhood dream, to have an indoor toilet at the time. It's like always thinking about, oh, maybe in the future I will have that indoor toilet. And also, in the village, teachers are the best people in a village. You ask teachers everything. Even if you get sick, you go to the teacher, ask them like, oh, I'm sick, I have a problem with this, and what can I do? And the teachers kind of advise you, you should do this, or you should take this. Teachers also give them tablets. That's just because it's far away, so you have to have that in your, because they have to go actually far away to receive money from their work. They work for the government, but they cannot receive their money in the village where they live, they work. They have to go many days also outside of a village just for the salary. And they buy medicine from there to keep it with them. And I didn't know if it was really, if they sell it to people or they just kind of give it to people who are sick. And if you buy something or you sell something and you have to write a contract, because that's required by the government law, you have to ask teacher to write it. And the teacher read it to you, okay, that sounds right. Oh, perfect. Okay, sign it then. You just sign without knowing what's going on in there. So I thought teacher is the best, and I wanted to be a teacher. Those are actually my two dreams, my childhood, to become a teacher and to have an indoor toilet. And that was enough for me. So that's my photo idea when I was in 5th grade. And in Madagascar, you have to take an exam, government exam, to pass from 5th grade to 6th grade. And we walk like 45 kilometers to get this photo. So when we arrived there, we didn't find the man. He was the only man who took photo in the village. And then we had to come back. I was working with my stepmom, and then we had to come back. And I was not very happy because we had to go back. And she said, okay, then you missed this year then. Maybe next year you can take an exam, and we will take your photo in advance enough. And I was very sad, and she was like, I don't know how many foot ahead, and I was like just walking from, because I wanted to take the exam at that year. And on the way, after like 3 kilometers away, we met the guy with a camera. And then she said, that's a man. And I was like, wow, and I was happy. And then when we took the photo, we didn't find like a white background because that was required to. And that's why I'm kind of not really happy there, because we tried to find a white background, like a white garment from the village. We couldn't. Every garment with color and stripe and like that. So I was like, oh, maybe my teacher would not accept this photo idea. And I was very worried about that. That's my baby me. That's baby me. Yeah. So I have to cut the story because time is flying. And, okay. Did you hear that? Okay. So my dad had a problem with his first marriage. Then he had to go back to the town where we left. Then actually he was there for 1 year, and then he asked us to come because there's some kind of a papers we have to sign to save him not to go to jail at the time. So we went there, and then, but it was difficult to solve it just at once. So he asked me if I wanted to stay with him and study or go back to the village and work and study there. So I decided to stay with him, and but he was his situation was unstable. So I couldn't stay with him because he was living with family around. So I had to go like 36 kilometers away to continue my secondary school. Then that was with my aunt, but that was nice because we have to follow road number 7. That's the road, famous road. So we didn't have to walk. we just take a bus and get there, and I finish my high school, and then I have to go back to the town again because there's no high school. I finished my secondary school, sorry. So there's no high school in the village. You have to go to the town for your high school. Then again, the problem is where should I live? And there is this man, his name is Rabbi Marcel, and he's not the brother of my dad, but he was learning the situation and he accepted me to stay with them to do my study. So I did my study 2 years. And then after 2 years, he died. And I was like, oh, that's the end of it. So his wife said, oh, you have to go back to your parents because we are in a difficult situation now. You cannot stay with me anymore. And so I had to go back. I don't know what happened to her. Then he asked me to come back again. And then Then I came back and I said, okay, I have to finish my study. This is the only one for me, only way for me. So I have no choice. Then I finished my study. Then everybody was happy because from my dad's side and my mom's side, I was the only one who finished high school. Most of them stopped at like 6th grade, not even 6th grade, maybe 5th grade, 3rd grade. So I was the only one. So I was kind of, actually, they celebrated it in a way they wanted to celebrate it. No, I asked them, like, I want to continue my study. I want to go to university. And they said, okay, we support you. So where you want to go? I want to go to the capital city because we knew from the college, from the high school, that the university in Antananarivo, the capital city, is the best. So I want to go there and make sure that I do my study and finish my study and get a good job to get rid of poverty. Then everyone was happy of that, and I went to Antananarivo, and after 2 years, and they couldn't do the support anymore. So because in Madagascar there's no government support, there's no system that helps students to finish their study. Your parents or yourself have to pay for your study, everything. And if you have maybe a parent that can't pay it, and where's my Pastor Aaron? We need him. So I will continue anyway. So then that's the system in Madagascar. You have money, you can continue your study. You don't have money or your family, you finish your study. You go back to your village. And so then because as I said, I was the first one, and everybody was like, even my grandparents, anytime, oh, what's news? You know, my grandchild passed his sharing with everyone. And now I have to go because I couldn't finish my study. I was so embarrassed by that. And I decided to stay in the capital city. So I was a member of his Christian organization called Scripture Union, and I was responsible for young people from my Antananarivo. Then there was a day we went to have in the center of the capital city for Christian exhibition, and I was responsible for our booth at the time. And then I saw in front of our tent this mission aviation fellowship called MAF. And I talked to them because at the time, the tourism in Madagascar was booming. And many of the tourists coming to Madagascar speaks English. So I wanted to speak English just to become a tour guide. And I asked them if I could do that. And they said, no, we don't do volunteer work or anything like that. And I was like, okay. That was in the morning. In the afternoon, like around 2 o'clock, he asked me to come to him. Can you come? And I was like, you know, there is this place in England. You can't go there if you want to improve your English, and it's a good place, and maybe you can get a good job when you return from England. And I was like, wow, that's huge. And I was like, okay, so can you give me the address? And he said, okay, I'll give it at 4 o'clock when I finish my work here because I'm still working. Like waiting for him from 2 to 4 o'clock is like for me like 4 years. I wanted to see this because I could see my future hanging on this address or things like that. I was like, oh, finally. And finally I got it, and he wrote it like in a piece of paper like this, actually. And I took the piece of paper and I put it, this was the website of the place. And I put it in my pocket anytime, like I would say every 30 seconds, I always check it in my pocket if it's still there. And took the bus, go home. I put my hand at that to make sure that the piece of paper would not drop out of my pocket. And I just realized that my hand was wet because I kept it there, and it's about to destroy the piece of paper also. I was like, no, this is not a good idea. Then I went to, it was late when I got home, but I went directly to a cyber cafe. That's the only place you can find internet connection, and checked it and verified it, and it was there. And I wrote to them. And actually, the next day I had to print all of the forms they needed for me to fill in. And it took me like 2 weeks to get everything, because most of the papers from doctors, from my pastor, because it's Christian Center, they ask that from you. Then after 2 weeks, I submitted the form, but it took me for 21 days again to get a response from them. That's like 20 years for me again. I was so waiting for this to happen, to know what's going on. And then I got like accepted. I couldn't even remember how I came out of a cyber cafe, seeing the news, and it's like, wow, so it's going to happen. Then now the problem is to get money, because they told me that I have to pay for my tickets and visa, but when I arrive there, they will take care of everything. Then we tried to find money to buy tickets, but we couldn't. Then I talked with them if they can buy my ticket, and I paid back with my pocket money, because I received like 30 pounds a week, British money. And they said, no, we don't do that. So I had to speak with them again, that what can I do then? I want to go. And they said, okay, next year you don't have to apply anymore. You're part of young people coming here, but you have to make sure that you have the money to buy tickets. Let us know in advance. Then I went to go back to my mom and discussed it with my mom, and we had a piece of land that my dad bought during their marriage. Then we sold it, and I convinced my mom, and my mom said, it's okay if your brothers and sisters accept, it's fine, but make sure to talk with them. And so my brother's still young, I'm the eldest and I have siblings, so it was easier for me to convince them. Like, okay, I will make sure that you finish your study if you accept this. And everybody was okay. Oh, okay. Ooh, we have a guest coming. Oh. Yeah. Nice. Hello. Hey. Wonderful. It's hard to know what's going on. Do you know the... It is the best. Nice. Oh, that's the thing, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for helping us and to help the kids. Yeah, they eat very well here, they study very well, they play very well, they are happy, and every day they feel like they have their own family here, and we pray for you so that
uh, you have good help to achieve our mission and to how to say it uh, to have good news to share with us every day.
Thank you. Okay. So, it's almost six now?
Pastor
Almost six?
everyone.
Yeah. 6 in the morning.
Bye.
6. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So we saw the land, and I could go to England that year. Was September 13th when I went to England the first time. So at the time, funny thing, I have never traveled in aeroplane, of course, and when I was in capital city preparing all of the documents, so I stayed with somebody, with a family, because I couldn't have my own home to stay in. And I was watching TV every afternoon, every evening, actually. And at the time, it was George Bush Jr., the president of the US. And anytime he got to Air Force One, he always waving his hands before getting in. So I thought that if you get in an airplane, you should wave your hands too. And I found it nice. It's like, oh, this is amazing. So then I have to do this when I get in an airplane. Then, of course, getting the check, and then an airplane is like, wow. Even the walk you walk in is like, it's just amazing for me to walk, to get inside of airplane. And then I turn when I get about, so I was asked by the flight attendant, so where's my ticket? And I didn't really have that time to wave, but I did kind of adjust and come back, and they showed me my seat. Then I sat on my seat, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I said to myself, this is the end of poverty. I don't want to go back to the village anymore. Yeah, because in the village, when we saw the airplane going up, this long smoke, we ran to find our friend to show it to them. Like, look at that. Do you see that? And we find, it was me. I saw it already. No, it was me. No, it was you. It's that kind of thing. I didn't have any idea one day I will be in that kind of airplane. No idea. And everything just came back to your mind again from your past until the day you took. The food, amazing food you have never eaten in your life. And I have, as I say to people often, it was at university when I first tried to eat ice cream, cheese, pizza, those kind of food you don't eat in your village or in your town. It's always rice, cassava, and sweet potatoes, those things. And so when I arrived to England, and many things funny, and using the toilet at the airplane was scary also at the time. It's like, yeah, so I had very basic English, some kind of to read things and maybe just to express few things on myself, but was not very good at all to talk. And I was like, how to use this? I cannot have somebody with me in and ask how to use the toilet. Then finally I figured it out, and I was like, then make this huge sound, loud sound. I was like, ooh. Then, many funny things at the beginning when you arrive in a place, not your world. You have a different world, and you went to a place that you don't know anything. So when I was there, I tried to save my pocket money, and that was a goal, to send it back for them to be able to go to school, because that is a contract with my brothers and sisters. Then I tried to find Lutheran church, because I attend Lutheran church in Madagascar. Then I met this pastor, American African pastor who works in England. And I started to, when it was nice when he came with communion and he gave me communion and have a night chat, and I felt at home already. That was a few weeks when I arrived in England. Then we talked about theology, and I wanted to study theology for 2 years. I didn't want to become a pastor at the time because I was responsible for young people in my place in Tana, in Antananarivo. So it would be nice to have Bible knowledge in the Bible and things like that. But he convinced me to do pastoral study, and I was like, no. I've seen many pastors in my town, very poor village. They cannot even send their children to school. And it's unusual to see pastors who can't send their children to school in Madagascar. Because most people give them rice, cassava, as kind of their salary, not like money every month. So I didn't want to be in that position. I want to get rid of poverty, build a new life and family. And at the time when you eat, you have to eat in a big dish, not maybe that size of dish, like 15 people around it. Because family, like the son of my dad's sister coming to us and eat with us, because the village is so poor, so any place they can eat. So many people around. You don't have time to eat well. I really learned hard to eat slowly in a later time in my life. I couldn't know that. I have to eat quick all the time. And when I was in Antananarivo, staying with a family, they rebuked me many times. You have to eat slowly because that's not how you do here. Like, okay. And then I feel like I'm waiting too long to get another one again, and something like that. So what we do when, at the time in a village, when there's meat in the, usually beans and meats or vegetable and meats in your dish, you have to take yours and put it in your pocket and eat first. And after you finish your dish, and then you get to the corner of the house, enjoy your piece of meat. It's very tough at the time. It's very tough. And you get your pocket like this with the grease here. And all the time, that's the hardest part too, when you wash your clothes to get it off. So that's the kind of a thing at the time. So I didn't want to go back in that. So we started to, if you go an international degree, it's through University of London. And University of London is one of the best around the world. And I don't think you go back to poverty anymore if you. Then I decided, okay, I will do this. And then we visited Cambridge as an interview, and I talked about, like, I want to study, but I don't have money for the study. And they said, oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of your tuition fee if you accept. And they invite me for a lunch, and that was also the first time I eat these small tomatoes. And when I eat these tomatoes, the juice of the tomato goes out of my mouth, and the pastor in front of me, but he's a nice man. He didn't even look at me or look at he totally ignored everything. I was like, and I wanted to leave. Like, I was so embarrassed. So I was like, wow, this is so bad. And maybe that will affect my scholarship. That's all of this in my fault. Maybe they will not take me anymore or something like that. But then later they said, okay, you can. And they accepted me. And then 2009, there was a coup in Madagascar. Then I couldn't come at the time. So 2011, I came with my wife, actually. Oh, that's, all right, that's a place I lived in England. That's the Ashburnham place. Yeah, I did volunteer work there. And England, Westfield House, that's the place I did my study. So I met Pastor Aaron and his family there, 2011 when we arrived. They're already there since September, I think, that time. And we were there together and became friends. That's time in England. He was doing pizza already at the time. He was making pizza already at the time. So it was nice. So I stayed in England for my 2011. I traveled with my wife, and then the British law changed. She couldn't come anymore. So I had to go on my own because they said if you're doing bachelor degree, you cannot bring any dependents with you. They have to stay home. But if you're doing a PhD, you can. So I was doing my bachelor, of course, so I could bring them. Then we had our first daughter, but I could go back to Madagascar for the birth of my daughter, and then back again. Then the college was very kind. I always find money to buy my ticket every summer so that I can go to my family and stay with them 2 months and back to England again doing my study. And graduation at Westfield House was very nice. It was on my own at the time because the college has their own graduation. Then University of London also had their own graduation. So we could come with my daughter and my wife. We could go together. We went to England for my graduation at London University. It was nice. We were already in the Netherlands at the time because I was doing my master's degree in the Netherlands. And I think that was the best time for us as a family together. Staying 1 year in the Netherlands, not worrying about food to eat because we receive scholarship. I just do my study and I don't need to worry about them far away from me like when I was working on my bachelor degree. So it was great. And my daughter wanted to take my hat and this is mine, and she was keeping that hat. I said, you have to work hard to get this. It's not easy to get this. So graduation, it's a nice time, just beautiful. Then back to Madagascar, 2016, late 2016, and working on my vicarage, and I was ordained in 2017 as a pastor. 2019, we had the first team from Shepherd of the Hill coming to Madagascar. That's the photo of some of them, I think, not all of them. So we went to a village at this time to distribute gifts, fruit of the roads, and also things from Shepherd of the Hills to go there. That's from the church. We attended kind of a prayer meeting before we went out for distribution of a gift. Wonderful. Just a quick, Minnesota, people ask me, where is Madagascar? I thought that was a movie or something like that. Madagascar is actually a country. That red dot over there, that's Madagascar. And I can't not read. But it's like the size of Madagascar is about 220, more than 220 thousand miles square. It's quite big. People said it's like same size of Texas. I don't know the size of Texas. So the name is Republic of Madagascar, and we have 90% of wildlife in Madagascar, only in Madagascar. You cannot find anywhere else. It's quite a unique country. Just one of a beautiful photo from Madagascar. So Madagascar is a bit varied. So east part, rainforest, west part, very dry, and part in Madagascar that have winter is the middle of island. They have winter. Most of the other part don't really have winter. That's the southern part of the country. It's very dry. Okay, so population, the first immigrant coming to Madagascar from Indonesia, and later time, many countries in Africa, I think around Middle East, came to Madagascar also for trade and stay there. So now it's about 32 million people in Madagascar and 25 regions. And one of those regions where House of Hope Madagascar is located. 18 tribes, just quick because we have spent much time already with video of the kids. be a monarch. And during that time, when the first missionary came to Madagascar to bring Christianity and education, we started to write and things. When you read actually the translation of the Bible in Madagascar in our language, it's a bit funny. We always laugh when you read that because it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. It just, the missionary read it and the Malagas tried to write it words, and it's just funny for us to read it. Our president, he came to power in 2009, and he's still there now. Prime Minister, and so according to the U.S. Department of State, it's more than 80% of the Malagasy people are Christian. But this is because of a tradition, the way how Christianity came to Madagascar. If you are well educated, if you are living in a city or even in a village somehow, you have to have your congregation. You have to go to a congregation because it's really shameful not to have a congregation, especially when you are well educated. And I always say this: if there is any device, you scan somebody if it's really a Christian, and then this 80% maybe goes to 30% or 40%. So at least we don't have problem like in mainland of Africa, like Boko Haram, because it's like Islamist group attacking Christian. We don't have that problem. There is no problem of terrorism in Madagascar. And I'm very happy for that, because wherever you go, you don't need to worry about the exploding or something like that. You go in peace. So the next biggest is traditional religion. Traditional religion is the religion that pray to the ancestor. What they do is, like, for example, if I'm a good man and I die, and then kind of they lift me up and to become between God and human being. So the name of the who created only God. Malagasy people understand there's only one God, and that's who created everything. So the ancestor, many ancestors, are the intermediary, the ones in the middle between God and human beings. So you cannot talk directly to God, but you have to talk to your ancestor. Like, for example, they were a strong man, and you planted many rice, and always have plenty rice. So please help us. Just speak with the greater one to give us plenty rice, also. Something like that. And so we usually attach that with a stone or lake or wood. So they do their prayer in wood or stones or whatever they feel like it's good to do that. Okay, now back to House of Hope. This is the greater image of a future plan. This is not there yet, of course. Only that building with the water tower and the water tower, but the other part of it. It's just kind of image designed by the engineer. House of Hope Madagascar is 100% Christian center. We are not a church, and we don't identify ourselves like to be part of a church, even though myself is a pastor at the Lutheran Church in Madagascar. The reason for that is we want to get a good management of a place, and also because in Madagascar there's something really good also. And also we want to have every kid to have the opportunity to join us and live in a Christian life. So our center is not a denomination, but a congregation as an orphanage. Faith in Christ, sorry, not a congregation. So I have to go quick because I've spent much time on it. Oh, we cannot read that's the Melody website. You will find it out actually with outside also. Madagascar, House of Hope Madagascar is a registered non-profit organization in Madagascar, which means that the government itself recognizes who we are. So there's nothing to worry about. That's kind of a proof of that. The area of focus, the spiritual education. So we mainly teach the Christian faith at the center. They do that very often. Their life is about Christ. Their life is about there for the children. And we do that through prayers and activities connected with our faith. And also, civic and moral education. This is something in Madagascar, like why we have to respect the elders and why we have to respect our friends. As our motto, love one another, as Christ has loved us. So why they should not punch their neighbor, why they should not steal their neighbor's stuff. That's why we teach them from the early of their age. In that case, if they do that, we believe that they will not practice corruption in the future or take somebody's, because corruption is just taking somebody's thing illegally because you want to have your power to sign a paper or to get them through and then get their money. So they would understand that. That's our belief. Because House of Hope Madagascar is not only providing education, but also Christian faith. And we want to see our Christian faith as a big umbrella of our education. So when they make a decision in the future, when they become a leader of our country, so their faith will dictate their decision. That's our belief. So our mission, I think I've talked about that earlier. So the dream started in 2007. As I said, this is the end when he bought it in 2002, actually. So that cart is putting bricks to build the wall at the time. And 2022, we started and finished the perimeter walls. And drilling water in 2023, at the time. And groundbreaking 2024, January, 6th of January. We had Brad at the time coming to Madagascar, and he experienced quite a thing also during that trip, but nice. It turned out nice anyway. We built the house, and it's finished in August 2000, end of August this year. And then we had the 20 missionaries from the US coming. Beautiful photo of them. And the inauguration, September 27th. That's the governor of a region of Ihurumbe. He was leading the ceremony. And very nice because she is so supportive of our work. She has two sisters coming on the day of inauguration. One lives in France and one lives in Canada. I don't know exactly where, in Paris, the other one. I don't know exactly which part of Canada she lives. But she came and they brought gifts for House of Hope. That was very nice. So we had prayer service before the inauguration. That's our children. You have seen them already in live. So every Monday in the morning, we raise flag, and there's a time we give them update, also official update about their life there, and for the staff also. We have 25 staff. That includes me as part of the staff. It is just some of them. So the life of the children, education, we are part of a big and very good organization called Balieke Education that provides education especially for private schools in Madagascar. And we have that. It's a bit expensive, but it's really helpful for our children. And so we are part of that, and we can give them good materials for their study, and it's it's working because most of it to House of Hope, and that day, 27th of September, the first time they see electricity light, they see TV, they see many things in their life, and that was the first heard about English language also. I don't know. They might witness that in the future, how they sound, how you sound when you speak. So, but 2 weeks later, they can pick up some words and they can say, hello, how are you, or something like that. It's very good because of the type of education we give them, not just they learn. They are also clever, smart kids. So classroom, so we have classroom in one of a room of a bit. I will come to that later anyway. Just tons of photo for you to. So these are things they did recently and sent to me. Like, oh, look at this, nice. It's very nice to see this, which reminds me also that they are doing something. They are not like just staying there. But so they also have regular health check like every 3 months. And we have also government support to treat basic disease that the Madagascar kids experience. Those kinds like worm in their tummy and make them like the tummy big. So we have that also, which is very nice. We didn't think that the government would send staff to our House of Hope to do that, but because we talked to them that it would be difficult for us to bring 48 children to the government hospital to be treated. And they said, okay, we can come. It's okay. So it's nice. Mealtime. I think those photos you want to see, that's why I put them there. Bedroom, how nice the bedroom is. This is very nice than my apartment in Ihus. And sometimes I'm tempted to go there and just spend one night there. And we have also prayer time for staff and with children also, as I said earlier. It's one of the foundation of House of Hope Madagascar, is Christian, as a Christian community, prayer and Bible study. They also help people, the staff with basic work, chores at home. So we want to teach them what they should do. They don't do it alone, by the way, but with the help. But the workers now not in the photo, so they learn it from there. So English training, we have this young man called Joe from Missouri. He's part of a Peace Corps, and he's giving free English lesson for staff so that the staff can teach English to the children. It's just God-given. It's nice. Okay, so school system in Madagascar, very quick. In Madagascar, grades 5, you have to take exam by the government. Grade 9, another exam again by the government, prepare the exam for you. And then 12 to go to university, another exam. It's not about age count, but it's the exam. If you don't pass, last year, it was in the news that somebody 60 years old, taking the government exam to pass grade 5 to 6. Of course, there's sometimes he dropped it out and then come later because just he wants to get. Yeah, some school trying to skip this, but it's a big problem when they go to university because the university wants to see your certificate. Okay, I'll just say this. Okay, so at House of Hope, all of the children, when we did the vetting, we didn't look at what kind of education level they have, but we focus on their situation. Then we discovered that we have this young girl in grade 6. She already passed her first government exam. And then now she has to go outside to study, actually, because we don't have the ability to teach her there yet at the moment. Skip. Okay, vetting of the children. This is very important also. Back to House of Hope's understanding of orphanage, maybe. So, group of the children we have there, they don't have mother, they don't have father anymore. They are orphans. But the second one, also, we look at the situation. They might still have mother, but their father died, or father, but mother died. And because of our work with the church, the congregation where they live, the catechist, basically, that's the responsible congregation, and the chief of a village, the representative of a government, then they advise us to take also those children because of a situation they live. And the last one, okay, I'll give you an example. There is twins. The mother died and gave birth to them, so they live with their father. And the father has a problem with alcohol, so the twins stay at home all the time, and when it's getting dark, they don't have anything to eat, they go to the neighbor, and the neighbor gives them food, and like at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I don't know anymore, and the father comes to knock the neighbor around to find his children. And the chief of the village asked us, you have to take these children because there's no future for these children here. So that's the case. Now they are happy. When they first came, it's really sad. You can't see from their face, but they are happy now at House of Hope. And these twins also, the third category, they still have their mom, but the dad ran away when the dad knew that the lady was pregnant. And then they are 10 years old now, they have never seen their dad. And they don't know if the dad is still there or already died. And so they've been with their mom for a short period of time, and then the mom took them and left them with her mother. And she went away to build a new life, trying to find a husband, and because it's very difficult for her to get a new husband with the two daughters around. So that's the situation. So we were advised to take also those. So it's what we have there is not only children have no father, no mother, but also those two categories. Like this, they are 10 years old now, and maybe the family, uncle or aunt will send them to get married if at 12 or 13, if they have not been rescued. And that's a problem. My niece got married at the age of 12 because the grandparents sent them in exchange of zebu or land. Got pregnant at the age of 12, and unfortunately, the baby couldn't survive. And they have to carry her from the village to go to a town, because in a village, usually the elder lady, usually very old, help to give birth. And she couldn't do it, and they asked the family to bring the young lady to a nearby hospital. And the hospital was like maybe 6 hours walk to go there and carry the young lady. And when it's very sad when they got there, and the doctor said, "Oh no, the womb is not ready for the baby yet." That's the problem here, because the womb stick with the baby. So what I can't do is just to get the baby, but it's not going to happen that the baby is not alive. At least we can save the mother. And the doctor was very upset and said, you have to separate them, the husband and wife, the young girls. And the young girls, they followed the advice of the doctor, and then the young girls went back to school again. And my mom, when they see the young girls, like because she was living in a life of a wife, and she has another view of the world. And when she went to school, she put this makeup and stuff, and we tried to convince her, and it's very difficult for her to get rid of it, because she feels unconfident when going to school without makeups and things. That's what happened in Madagascar. So what House of Hope is doing, not just giving a chance, rescuing the children also from, mostly for a young boy, they let the young boy work for them for free. It's kind of a modern slavery. And they would like to see the young boy living with them, helping them with everything until maybe, I don't know, 40 years old, and leave them, have his own life. That's happening now. So it's when somebody died, what happened to the children is terrible. It's terrible. So it has to be something that House of Hope is doing to be able to rescue the children. Okay, I know I have video stuff, and we'll skip some of it because I don't think it's very... Okay, yes. All right. That's just kind of different department we have at House of Hope. Very important thing also, we have a lawyer helping us with legal things and at House of Hope. And months ago, the government asked us to pay tax because we are a registered non-profit organization. We still have to pay tax. Then we have a lawyer, we asked about it, and we have a lawyer. Then the lawyer talked with the representative of government in the town of Aarhus. Then, thankfully, the government said, we don't have to pay tax. So that's the important thing about the lawyer, we have lawyers. So it's very important for us to have. It was God-given lawyer also because we don't pay when she does the service. She lives in a, we just pay for her tickets, bus ticket to come to Aarhus and food, meal, and hotel, and then back. So she doesn't ask for money from us. Okay. All right. Okay, so how it functions, House of Hope, we have these two partners. I think most of you have known about House of Hope Madagascar US side. So we want to see everything clear because we want to see House of Hope running for a long time, as long as Christ has not come yet. And in that case, we have the US side managing about the money side, and only get the money when we need it. Well, how we need the money, like is it monthly expense or is it construction or something? So that's how we do it, and I think there's maybe some kind of explanation of that later also. Okay, that's, I will summarize it from this big vision for us here. Can you click the long bar on your keyboard to play it? Yes, thank you. So that is what we hope for the future of House of Hope, what we expect to be in that place. We have that side of, I cannot point to my, okay. Oh, it disappeared when it goes, oh, there. We have this side, where is it? All right. School, that's a school, actually. That's what we are planning to build. Yes, so this is this side is the dormitory. This is just an animation from the engineer of a big picture of what we are planning to do at House of Hope. Okay, I think we can stop it there. Thank you very much for your time. It's always, I'm a very talkative man. It's always difficult to manage time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Jean. It's just a few minutes left in our allotted time, and I wanted to at least have a few minutes for question and answers. So I'll try to facilitate the best I can. If there are some real burning questions in your heart that weren't touched on yet, my thought was Q&A, and then we'll let you back to the winter weather. Anybody want to start us off? Any question? Mason, over here. What does money look like in Madagascar?
Oh.
Does anyone have any on them?
This one.
All right, we're going to get some from the entryway, and we'll actually get to see it. We'll start over here with Mason, and then we can pass it around. It's probably, what value is that bread? It's 1,000 RER. That's worth about 25 cents. All right, what else can we answer? Yes, Mary. What kind of skills,
Yeah.
cooking, farming, are the students learning?
Yeah. No, they are just came to House of Hope now, and also they are still children, but in the future, that's part of their program. When at least they finish their primary school, thought secondary school, that's like age of, they are 10 now, the highest, the oldest, and maybe like around, they're 14 or something like that. Yes, yeah.
All right, Ron. So the grade levels, how does the primary school work and the secondary, all that?
So in Madagascar, where children start school at age of 6. Yeah, if too late. Some, like our children, start at age of 4. But by the age of 6, the government requires them to go to school, but there's no control on that. Just kind of, that's, many children do not go to school even at age of 6. So they should take this exam, like, so if they do well with their study, so 7, grade 2, 8, grade 3, something like that. Yeah, but the age doesn't really count, as I said, but it's about the exam. Is if they pass the exam and they can move on. If they don't pass, they have to stay there. Yeah. No, because some of the children, they didn't go to school at all. They are already their age, have to start with grade 1, even though they're old. They haven't been in school yet. Yeah.
So the goal to build a school this coming year would be for grades 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yes. Yeah.
Primary school. Mark's hand up in the back. Okay. What's the importance of having a school, a separate building? Why is that important?
So the importance of having school is, it's really based on our vision. Our vision is to prepare those children to become the leader of our country. So to achieve that, it's based on our curriculum, something that school outside of House of Hope cannot have, but we have it. And so the place where they live now, they do their schooling now is very small. We have 4 different levels of children there, and our two teachers teach them in one room. So 4 different tables around, and finish this one, and move to another one, and move to another one, and move to another one. Even though we teach them the best curriculum, the environment is not helping. So we consider this year just kind of a school year of transition for them. So when we have a school, we can achieve our best by giving them the teaching and also required by the government, actually, that they should have a separate classroom, not in the dormitory, but should have separate classroom.
Classroom, dining room, kitchen out of the current dormitory. What does that also enable the future to look like?
Yes. So because the dormitory has 6 rooms, and 4 rooms now used for bedrooms for the children, and 2 only, 1 for school and everything, as I said, and the other one for meal preparation. And we can have more children in those rooms when they move to when they have classroom and they move to that classroom, and we can have more children. So it should be 72 children coming. And that's compared to the situation, that's nothing, but at least something, as we say, as we think. We are doing such a big thing already, having 72 children.
I saw some hands on this side a moment ago. Any other questions on this side? Yeah, Larry. Across the country? What percentage at House of Hope? So specifically at House of Hope, what's the percentage of education that's Christian education? So how much focus, like what does the curriculum in a wide picture look like? How much of that is teaching the faith?
when the Norwegian missionary came to Madagascar, they built school also and built church. But when they left, actually, most of the school closed. Only in city, school, what we called Christian school. There are also some Catholic school built by the Jesuits. But of course, they have their own curriculum also and way. In Hush, there is, but not for, they don't focus on poor children or children from the village, but it's more like a business. So they want all of a family, a well-living family from the town, send their children there, and not everyone can go there. So I would say there are some Christian schools in Madagascar, but not everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, Gary.
Yeah.
So, question about child labor, and it's more than just about education.
Yes. Mm.
And just to reiterate for the live stream audience and the future listeners, so the question is, if there's such wealth as sapphire mine in Madagascar, why doesn't that wealth benefit places like Ahus?
Yeah, this is something unfortunate. I know we are live now, and I have to be careful what I say. And but yeah, there are lots of bad things, of course, and doesn't go to the way it should go. Like the sulfur is very expensive. It's small things like that, but it's really expensive. And if there was kind of a good chance to do this, and I would say, to be honest, that Madagascar as a land is a rich country in terms of mining and, as I said, biodiversity, but there's something behind it, and that doesn't help us to.
And then briefly touch on one of the problems that you're seeing in extended families that might take on a family member because the parents have died or run away. What are problems that you see?
Yeah, so you see also working in a sapphire mining, and they usually send them to get the dirt underground, because the sapphire, when they dig in the ground to get sapphire, there is what they call the root of a stone. Just loose translation. So you have to follow it, and you see it still, and you have to. Sometimes it gets down to up to 30 meters deep, and it's very risky to go there because the ground can collapse, and many died because of that. And they cannot make a big hole, so the children get it because they are small and can get inside, collect the dirt and pull it from back and up, something like that as well. So the many children also died in the sapphire.
So much child exploitation from the stories that I've heard, Pastor John. I think we have time for one more. Jim had his hand up a while back.
48 students.
Mm-hmm.
I heard 72 if and when the school is built. What is the vision for the number of students that you like to see or envision?
So if we're at 48 students now, can increase to 72 students in the near future. What's the overall vision? How many students do you think you see House of Hope helping?
In always it's very difficult to predict. In my hope and my wish that we can take more as possible, but that depends on our ability to welcome them, to host them and feed them, and It's quite a lot of, we now spend like $8,000 a month for all of the expenses to run the center. And that's depends on that side also. But of course, we want to have more as possible. It's because, as we said earlier, we are rescuing the children also, not just kind of giving them a second chance, but rescuing them from child exploitation.
The vision is not limited. And the more you talk with Pastor John, the more you'll see how grand the vision is. We are out of time. I would encourage you, if you have more questions, to please hesitate to talk to Pastor John. He's going to be here. He'll be here on Sunday as well. We are gearing up for our Tuesday evening Thanksgiving worship service. You're all invited, of course, to give thanks with us Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. It's also our evening of pie, as well as our Thanksgiving challenge, where we'll take 100% of the offering received on Tuesday to put towards the construction of a school building. You can see on the bottom left corner here the building on the banner. The price tag with working with the engineer in Madagascar is $207,000, 207. So hopefully we can make an impact and getting us nearer that goal of over $200,000. And as we depart, Pastor Jean, would you speak a blessing over us on our evening? And before the prayer, everyone, I think you can take a plate of pizza home with you and have lunch on us tomorrow, okay? They're all here in the entryway. You can't miss it. You'll trip over it if you don't take a slice or a few slices with you. But Pastor, please.
Let us pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you for this great day today. Thank you for bringing your people together in this place where we worship you, we honor your name, and share our vision in Madagascar, our ministry, the ministry that you appointed us to do. And we are so pleased and blessed that we don't do it alone. And you also pointed us, our brothers and sisters in the ministry to share our vision so that we can achieve what we are planning over there. And thank you also for the time. We will be able to do that because of you. And thank you for the time from them also listening, patience with funny English sometimes, but you gave them patience. And I pray that your Holy Spirit will find through what they have listened to and seen slides. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Jean. And God's blessings on your evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's still already.
It's off. Yep.